Well, here we are back at our barriers game. We have a little cat down here. He can move up, down, left, and right. And the name of this cat is Sprite 1, which is a terrible name for a cat. So I'm going to highlight that and just call it cat. Enter. Now it's time to make barriers, and I'm going to paint my own barriers. So I'll go down here to it says choose a sprite, but I'm not going to choose a sprite. I'm going to go up to this one that says paint. That way I can paint my own sprite. This is how you paint your own sprite. So you have to choose a fill color that you want. Whatever color you choose, you have to use the same color for all barriers. So I just slid all the colors all the way to the right to make it red. Then I want no outline. So I did this little slash that says no outline. Otherwise, you're going to get some weird looking color on the outside of your barrier. So I want no outline at all, and that's what the slash is. I have no outline. I'm going to use this rectangle. I give it a click, and I'm going to be right on the side. See, this is where I'm going to paint my barrier, and I'm going to stay right on the edge and hold it down, hold it down, hold it down, hold it down. Now, I'm not going to go all the way. Otherwise, the cat won't be able to get through the barrier. But maybe about this far. That seems about right. I think the cat can get through there. So I'll take my barrier over here on my stage, and I'll put it about right here or so. It doesn't have to be perfect. Something about like that. Now this one's called Sprite 1, which is a terrible name for a sprite. So I'm going to call it Lower Barrier. You could call it whatever you want. Enter. Now I'm going to duplicate this one to make another barrier. So I just give it a right click, and sure enough, duplicate. Now I have another one, and I'm going to place this one maybe about right here. I think that's going to be a good spot. Now I'm going to go back to my cat and see if this thing can move around. Will he make it? Here, I'll switch it over to code so you can remember what the code was. So I'll do the green flag, and I'll see if he fits okay. He can walk that way. He can walk up, and of course he walks right through the red. He doesn't even care. Let's stop. Let's start. Let's stop. Okay, he's right there. Let's make another barrier now, the ones that go up and down. I'm going to paint a new barrier. It's going to be the same thing, a rectangle that's red, no outline. This time I want it to go up and down. So I want it to go about this tall, maybe something about this tall. And that looks pretty good, so I'm going to put that one right down here. I think it's a little big. Maybe I'll just chop it off a little bit. I'll just grab this circle in the middle and pull it down a little bit. I think that's going to be a little better because I want my cat to fit through there. I don't want this game to be too hard. Yeah, I think about like that's going to be good. Something like that. Yours doesn't have to be exactly the same as mine. This is going to be upright 1. So I'm going to call it upright. Maybe I'll call it upright on the right side. Upside right. Looks good. Enter. I'm going to duplicate. Right click. Duplicate. This one's going to go right about here. That looks like a pretty good spot. It's called upright 2. I'm going to duplicate. And I'll put this one right about here. Or so. I mean, you decide how yours is going to be. Duplicate. I'm going to put that one right about here. I think that's going to be pretty good. About like that. I think that's good. Now I got to say that the cat, if he touches red, and remember all of mine are red, if you touch red, you got to go back to the beginning. So click on the cat. Now wait a minute, where's my code? Oh yeah, you got to go to code to see the code. I'm going to say if you're touching red, you have to go back to the beginning. Mine was minus 207, minus 150. Yours may not be. I need another if. So get another if. Let's just put it up here for a minute. If you're touching red, touching is sensing. If you're touching a color, here's the color. So I'm going to take that and slide it in there. If you're touching a color, but what color? It has to be this red color. So I need to change this color, and here's how you do it. You click on the color. Then you go get the eyedropper, and you can sample any color on your screen. So I give it a click, and he says, okay, what do you want to do? I want this color, red, right here. Not white, not this color of the cat. Right on the red. If you're touching red, now I can click off because I'm done with that. If you're touching red, you have to go back to the beginning. Go to whatever your numbers are. Your numbers might not be the same as mine. So I'm going to make this a little minus so I can see it a little better. And I'm going to put this if underneath all the other ifs. Notice all the ifs are lined up nice and straight. It's not like this. That's terrible. Terrible. I want to put all the ifs directly underneath each other. Ifs are directly on top of each other. All right, let's test this barrier out and see if it works. I'll say go. Now I'm going to press the right arrow, left arrow. Let's press up and down, up, down. What happens if he touches red? Oh, man, you got to go back. What if he bumps his head on red? Oh, man, you got to go back. Okay, so that's the end of part 2. You got to go make some barriers. You don't have to make yours exactly like mine, but you can make your own barriers.